Thank you. And John Coleman, as many of our viewers know, advocates there is no significant man-made global warming.
That's right. His research on the impact that Roger Revelle's research had on Al Gore provides some startling insights. John?
Well, Revelle was a powerful man, a noteworthy person, a scientist, a significant force in San Diego in the 1950s. And there's no doubt that he is largely responsible for the high status of the Scripps Institute of Oceanography in its field, and for locating the University of California, San Diego, UCSD, in La Jolla. While serving as director of Scripps, Revelle and one of his researchers wrote the first modern scientific paper that linked carbon dioxide released in the air from the burning of fossil fuels and the greenhouse effect and the warming of temperatures. Well, this triggered an avalanche of research that eventually became the impetus behind the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the entire global warming movement. In the 1960s, Revelle moved to Harvard to establish a Center for Population Studies. This is where Professor Revelle encountered student Albert Gore. He involved Gore and his classmates in the tabulating of data from a carbon dioxide study. Gore was so impressed, he wrote about it in his 1992 book, Earth in the Balance. That became the story for the movie An Inconvenient Truth, the Oscar and the Nobel Peace Prize, and some people say $100 million all came from that. There is no doubt Roger Revelle had a major impact on Vice President Gore's life. But there's a twist. In 1988, Roger Revelle was having second thoughts about whether carbon dioxide was a significant greenhouse gas. He wrote letters to two congressmen about it. And in 1991, he co-authored a report for the new science magazine Cosmos, in which he expressed his strong doubts about global warming and urged more research before any remedial action was taken. At that point, Mr. Gore pronounced Revelle senile and refused to debate global warming. He continues to refuse to debate. Many offers of thousands of dollars have been made for debate. He refuses. Today, Gore sequestered the media at this event, and he set forth rules: no questions, no interviews. I have learned that in 1991, Roger Revelle made what was his final speech at the high-powered, very private summer enclave of powerful men and politicians at the Bohemian Grove in Northern California. There he apologized for his research, for sending so many people in the wrong direction on global warming, and he worried about the political fallout from the UN IPCC and Al Gore. A man named Don Michael Schmedman, who lives in the San Francisco area, was there that day, and he remembers the Revelle speech very well. He has told me about it in some detail. So think of the irony. Today, Al Gore received the first Roger Revelle Award, honoring the man who sent him on his global warming campaign. But Revelle had realized that it was a false alarm and that the science was flawed before he died. Revelle passed away of a heart attack in 1991. It would be very interesting to know, if he had lived, where he would be tonight. Would he have approved of this award? Or perhaps would he be joining me for the International Conference on Global Warming Skeptics in New York next week?
John, I've covered the Gores over a period of years, starting with Al Sr., but Al Jr., is this a political or scientific point of view, do you think?
Well, for me, it's not political at all. After all, I'm a journalist in addition to being a meteorologist, and I absolutely refused to take political sides. Mr. Gore served honorably as vice president. He got 52 million votes for president, and, I can't criticize that. Yeah. But the science behind global warming scare, it is clearly wrong, and it needs fixed. And so I work day and night trying to fix it.
I'm just curious as to why he would never do any debates on this subject.
Well, because he knows he'd lose. Frankly, I think he realizes now that it's wrong, but he has this environmental agenda that this drives, and he doesn't want to get away from that.
Too much is invested in this.
Yeah. By the way, you can read this whole story on our website in Coleman's Corner.
All right.
John,
check it out.
So
All
much.
right. Thank you a lot.